The universe in a nutshell. We often hear questions about how the universe came into existence. If one believed that the universe had a beginning, the obvious question was, as Dr. Hawking asked in his speech, what happened before the beginning? What was God doing before he just made the world? Was he preparing hell for people who ask such questions? These are just a few questions that I will address. I recently read on Eric Hadfield's website that about 50 years ago, many scientists thought that the universe always existed. The two main theories back then were steady state and pulsating. However, these theories are no longer believed, and it is generally considered proven that the universe began about 13.7 billion years ago with the Big Bang. So, what is the Big Bang and our universe? The universe, as we all know, is all of space and time, and its content including galaxies, planets, stars, and even the donuts that you had yesterday. So, in a word, it's everything. The Big Bang, however, is a theory about how everything came into existence. It's pretty natural to think that time began when everything else began. Well, let's skip for what happened at the very start of the Big Bang and start talking about what happened after 1/1,000,000,000 of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second. According to space.com, scientists think they can pick a story up at 10 to the minus 36 seconds. So, here's what exactly happened. Well, a common misconception is that the Big Bang, as from its name, was an explosion of a point in space. It wasn't. It was more like a everywhere stretch. Agreed that it was a small space that stretched, not exploded, into the universe that exists today. It's the power of infinity that comes into the picture here. Space doesn't need something to expand into because it can expand onto itself. Just like when you zoom out of a number line, as much as you want, it's still an infinite number line. So initially, the universe underwent an extremely brief and dramatic period of inflation, expanding faster than the speed of light. Within a small fraction of a nanosecond, the universe expanded at an enormous rate from a very small size. This is known as inflation. According to life science, the universe was permeated only by energy. Some of this energy concealed into particles known as gluons and leptons, which later assemble into hadrons such as electrons and protons. The four fundamental forces of attractions, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong nuclear and the weak nuclear force developed gradually along with this. By the time the universe was 1 second old, it had expanded to a size about 10,000 times the size of our solar system, and the temperature dropped to about 10,000 million degrees. After several of 100,000 years, conditions had stabilized enough for the first atoms of hydrogen and helium to form. And after several 100 million years, these atoms then first clumped into galaxies, and then the stars, inside whose fiery furnaces all other elements were forged. So, coming back to my question, what caused the Big Bang? And does God's existence explain anything? We have two answers for this, and they're the famous arguments of Coulomb and Leibniz. Coulomb's argument says, whatever begins to exist has a cause external to itself, or arises out of something external to itself. The universe began to exist. Therefore, the universe has a cause or arose out of something external to itself. Whereas the Leibniz argument says, the universe exists. Anything which exists has an explanation of its existence in the necessity of its nature or in the external cause. Therefore, the universe has an explanation of its existence. If the universe has an explanation, the explanation must be God. Therefore, God exists, and it's the explanation. Well, this is all that we know from before. So what is happening in today's world? In recent years, Steinhardt has been working with a colleague Neil Turok at Cambridge University on a radical experiment to the standard Big Bang model. It's known as the ekperiodic universe theory. It states that the universe was not born just once, but multiple times in endless cycles of fury, death, and rebirth. Enormous sheets like brains, representing different parts of our universe, collide about once in every trillion years, triggering Big Bang-like explosions that re-inject matter and energy into the universe. So, the Beck claims that their ekperiodic or cyclic theory would explain not only inflation but other cosmic mysteries as well, including dark matter, dark energy, and why the universe appears to be expanding at an ever-accelerating rate. Although there are so many theories about how the universe came into existence, the Big Bang is widely accepted now. So, what happened before the Big Bang? Like, just at the very start. What about it before that? So, the question is inconsistent because time started when the Big Bang started. Hence, before does not exist. However, whether the previously existing universe collapsed into a dense space and giving birth into a new one, or God created it, or something entirely different. There's a lot to learn about this, and the universe is beautiful.